Hello and welcome to the Manpower Group Lab here at Vivatech. Having a strong leadership is key to the success of any business. Leaders must have not only a vision for the company, but the know-how to successfully execute that vision. But as the future of work unfolds before our eyes, the demands of today's leadership are changing. Leaders must remain agile to move with these evolutions, and that means constantly building new skills. Today we're going to learn more about how leaders can fulfill their potential in order to help their businesses have the most impact. So joining me here today, I have Michelle Nettles, Chief People and Culture Officer at Manpower Group, and Delphine Jumelle-Paulet, Head of Faculty at Mazars University. Hello to you both.
Hello.
Michelle, we can start with you. Let's talk a little bit about the future of work and what kinds of changes we've seen recently.
I would say the future of work is here today, and that has been accelerated by COVID. And some of the changes, flexibility. We know that flexibility will be one of the lasting legacies of COVID, and we're seeing that show up in real time. And it's not just about where you work, it's how you work, when you work, with whom you work. And we know that, everyone is interested in working from home and hybrid, but people really do want flexibility in what times they work. So can they start at 2 and can they finish at 7? Can they start at 3? So those are the things that we see that's emerging. And the other is the agile leader. We need a leader who can adapt and who can be present and also very much authentic and transparent. At the end of the day, employees' voices are being raised and they're exercising their vote with their feet. So those are things that's emerging today in real time.
Yeah, I keep hearing that more and more here at Vivatech. What kinds of challenges has this created for today's executives? How have they had to kind of rethink the way they've done things before?
I think one is, how do you measure performance and productivity? So butts and seats, as we say in the US, are jackets and chairs, as my colleagues often tell me. Those no longer are the ways in which you measure performance. It's how are you seeing productivity at the end of the day holistically and not just by tasks being operated. Other is leaders have to be caring. They have to be present. They actually are getting lots of requests from employees around how do you address wellness? How do you address things like diversity, inclusion, equity, belonging? And so that's a lot for a leader to manage. And one of the things that we are needing to do is how do we coach leaders to move from being just a manager to being a leader, which requires being present, listening, authenticity, transparency, and trust. So soft skills are really the future of leadership.
And so this is where that focused learning comes in. We're going to find out more today about that. So Manpower Group has been working with Mazars University to help executives update their experience. We're going to hear more about that in a minute, but why is it so important for our leaders to constantly update their skills? And then I will come to you, Delphine.
I think here at Vivatech, I've actually heard someone quote, so I may misquote this, but skills used to change every 20 years or so, and now it's changing every 2 years. One, to stay current, leaders need to update their leadership. Two, the world of work continuously to change, and that's expanding. It's getting more complicated. It's modifying the channels in which you deliver work. And so gaining those skills are incredibly important, not to just connect with your workforce, but to connect with all of your stakeholders. So digital skills are one way in which leaders are having to adapt, but there are multiple ways that leaders must continue to adapt.
Well, so let's learn more about this MBA program at Mazars University. Delphine, can you tell us a little bit more about the Next MBA?
Okay, so the Next MBA was an initiative started 10 years ago when we were looking into new ways, the next ways actually, to train our leaders. So we created that program with a group of companies, and Manpower was one of the early adopters actually. We bring our leaders together, so that would be 6 to 8 companies bringing their top leaders into a program that lasts 18 months. They get together 1 week in one specific worldwide location, and they get inspired, let's say, by top level professors, but also connecting themselves between themselves from different companies, different industries, and meeting with local leaders, speakers who would tell them what's going on, and more importantly, what is about to happen, because too often education was about the past. And we really strive to produce something that looks more into the future.
So how does your program differ from others on the market?
How is it different?
Yeah.
First of all, we have a mix of companies, so that creates, well, kind of the diversity and inclusion we were referring to. It's not either or, it's not training or experience, it's both of it. It's embedding the social space, the emotions, the experience, the training and the academic content all together instead of choosing between social or learning, for instance. It's also getting very different people from different industries, different companies, different functions. So you create a lot of collective intelligence and, well, you leverage their successes, their knowledge, their mistakes. And, you know, it's only about learning. Learning is the new knowing. It's not about the content. It's about how you build a different learning. Talking about integrative thinking, basically, it's not either or. It's let's get this together. Let's bring something new and integrate the knowledge of everyone in the classroom.
Right. And Michelle, the next MBA program, how does it align with what executives want from learning today? I mean, we talked about what they need to have, what kinds of skills they need. Do they know what they need or what they want?
I don't always think we know what we want, but what we are accomplishing in this partnership with Mazars is real-time skills that our leaders can apply. As Delphine said, it's also diversity. So in real time, you're hearing what other industries, other sectors are saying and what challenges they are having. Third, you're getting an opportunity to collaborate across borders, across functions, across teams, and you're building those soft skills that lead to great leaders in the future. And then fourth, you're able to take back with you strong strategic skills that help you solve problems in your business every day. And lastly, creativity. When you bring people together and they're collaborating, what comes out of that is creativity and innovation.
Great. And so what kinds of solutions does the program offer? I mean, you have people coming from different sectors. Do they have different challenges? Do they all have the same challenges?
Actually, leaders have all the same challenges. Let's face it, even if when you look at it from a silo perspective, yes, you would feel like, oh, okay, I'm in banking. It's different from being in, I don't know, Saint-Gobain, industrial world, or L'Oreal, who is one of our partners also. But actually, top leaders have this same exact issue that you just mentioned. How do you empower people, make them be productive? How do you create that space for innovation to flourish? How do we do that? Basically, we have a consortium of companies and the HR leaders of these companies or the learning leaders get together and we look at, okay, what are our key challenges? Where should we go to tackle these challenges? What kind of topics are hard? What kind of problems, issues, challenges our leaders are confronted to? And we do create the program every year. We reinvent the program to make sure it fits to the next challenges. And the world is changing very fast. So we do have to reinvent it every year, changing the locations, changing the topics, and making it exciting. Because you have to remember, people don't learn if it's no fun. It's not happening. It has to be social, and it has to be connected to their reality. So bring really the knowledge into their own challenges and daily activities.
And I suppose offering a certain amount of flexibility as well, especially in the last 2 years, that's been so important. You know, we've talked about people being able to connect no matter where they are in the world.
Yes, obviously, first when you work with leaders, you have to be flexible. Business comes first, and because we are not a business school, sorry for that, we do know that business comes first. So there's a lot of flexibility embedded in the program. If, for instance, they cannot make it to 1 week, they would do another week. in the past 2 years, well, we switched to online learning. We did not cancel the sessions because we wanted to provide updates on, the trends and the upcoming things to know about. We did it online, but we're happy to be reunited now and to again provide the face-to-face learning these days.
Yeah, I'm sure. So, Michelle, we've talked about what executives get out of this program, this MBA program. What about companies and their employees? What do they gain?
So wealth of knowledge first and foremost, but it's applied knowledge and experience. So one of the things that we've seen and we actually have replicated is simulations. And so how do you get teams to learn fast? And how do you get teams to think about and predict the future and do scenario cases? So we at our management team actually had a simulation and we were going through cyber risk. And we did it, and we were trying to forecast how would we respond in real time to a problem, to a solution. So companies are getting real-time, practical ways to solve problems, and that's powerful, and that's why we continue to partner.
Great, and I suppose this also addresses the talent shortage as well that we're
It does.
dealing with.
I mean, at the end of the day, given the talent shortage and what we know is record numbers in 16 years, is that companies are going to have to do more than just buy talent. We're going to have to build talent. And developing that talent from within is very, very, very important. But how are you using that in a way that's creative? So how are you thinking about it from a skill set, not from a job set? And that's one of the things that we're working to build, are skills that can be applied in different environments.
Sounds like a win-win. Thanks so much, Michelle Nettles and Delphine Jumelle-Paulet, for joining us here at the Manpower Group Lab.